I never thought a single glance in a small cafe on Main Street, Boston, could turn my entire life upside down. It was a rainy afternoon, the kind where the sky feels too heavy for the city to hold. I had ducked into the cafe to escape the drizzle, but instead, I found something I wasn't ready for. Her. She was sitting by the window, a worn copy of The Great Gatsby in her hands. The edges of the pages curled as though she had read it 100 times. Her scarf was loose around her shoulders, her hair slightly damp from the rain, and her eyes, God, those eyes, met mine for just a second. That was all it took. From that day on, I found myself returning to that cafe every afternoon, pretending it was the coffee I loved, when in truth, it was the quiet presence of a stranger. She had this way of making silence feel alive. One day, I gathered the courage to sit across from her. "Do you mind?" I asked, my voice betraying nerves. She looked up, studied me for a moment, and smiled faintly. "Not at all." That was how it began. Two strangers sharing a table, slowly becoming less of strangers with each passing day. She told me her name was Emily Carter, a literature student at Boston University, though there was a sadness in her tone that didn't match her words. She loved old books, hated crowded malls, and said the Charles River was her escape whenever life felt too much. We laughed, we argued about novels, and in those moments I felt more alive than I had in years. But there was something she never said, something she carefully hid behind her faint smiles. At times I would catch her staring out the window with a look so distant, as though she were chained to something I couldn't see. One evening, as the cafe buzzed with the sound of rain tapping the glass, she slipped a small envelope across the table. "Don't open this yet," she whispered, her voice trembling, nervously. "Promise me." I promised. Days turned into weeks, and my feelings grew into something undeniable. I loved her. I loved the way she wrinkled her nose when she disagreed with me, the way she hummed under her breath when she was nervous, the way she could turn silence into poetry. But then she vanished. One day she was there, sipping black coffee and laughing at my terrible jokes, and the next, her chair was empty. The barista shrugged when I asked. "Haven't seen her in days." Panic clawed at me. I searched for her near the university, along the Charles, even asked strangers if they'd seen a girl who carried The Great Gatsby everywhere. Nothing. It was like she had never existed. That was when I remembered the letter. Hands trembling, I tore it open. The words inside were written in hurried strokes, smudged as though her tears had fallen on them. "By the time you read this, I'll be gone. There are parts of my life I can't escape, chains you can't break for me. I wanted you to know that meeting you was the only time I felt like myself. Don't look for me. Just remember me the way I was when we laughed." My chest tightened, and for the first time in years, I wept in public, the cafe spinning around me. But the story didn't end there. Weeks later, as fall leaves scattered across the Boston Common, I saw her again. My heart stopped. She was walking with another man, hand in hand, her laughter floating in the crisp air. For a moment, I thought maybe she had moved on. Maybe she had chosen him. But then, as their eyes met mine, I saw it. Fear. Not love, not peace. Fear. Later that night, I received another envelope slipped under my apartment door. Same handwriting, same trembling letters. "You weren't supposed to see me today. He isn't who you think he is, Please, for both our sakes, don't follow." The next day she disappeared again, this time completely. Her apartment was empty, her phone disconnected, and even the barista claimed he didn't remember her. It was as if Emily Carter had been a ghost passing through my life, leaving only the fragments of laughter, silence, and 2 letters that still smelled faintly of rain.